You're with us here on a fresh new edition of The Big Picture this Thursday afternoon on NDTV Profit. Markets are looking flattish. 2-point change on the Nifty. We'll get to that in a bit. Basically off the day's high quite significantly. This is what's coming up here over the next 30 minutes. Parag Parikh is back with us after a really long time, and he's got some good news. Parag Parikh is launching his asset management business, and we'll ask Parag why is he getting into the already what some would call overcrowded mutual fund space. Stocks in focus. We'll talk about Infosys, BHEL, Suzlon, three different sectors, and we'll ask what's going on in these three names. Alright, let's just put up the market for you and then let's move forward. Nifty 59.72, 59.73, basically 1.1 or 1.1 change. I mean, that's it, nothing, flat compared to yesterday's close. 9-10 point change on the Sensex, 19,676. Mid-cap index is down a little bit. You got small cap index, which is kind of off as well, 10 point change down. 55 down, 41 up. No real big trend anyway. News is coming in that the government has cleared the revival package for Scooters India that's coming through just about right now. The big one though today is what happens to fuel prices if fuel prices are taken up for discussion at the Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs or no. I mean, that's the real big one. Let's get in Parag Parikh, who's joining in right now. Chairman, Parag Parikh Financial Advisory. Mr. Parikh, thanks very much. Good afternoon. Good to have you back on the channel. It's been a while. Congratulations first up.
Thank you, Prashant.
On the launch of the asset management business. So let me ask you why. Simple question, why? And why now? Because there are so many players in the space.
I think mutual fund for the retail investors, it is definitely a better asset class. And we were already in the portfolio management space, and we thought that let's upgrade ourselves, and that's how we thought of getting into the mutual fund industry.
Right. That argument would have held at any point, sir. Did you want to do this earlier, or were you waiting for an opportune moment? I mean, you think this is the right time to get into that business?
No, there's nothing like an opportunity for us. It was this thing to get a license. You know, we have to go through the certain formalities with SEBI, and so we have been going since the last couple of years, and just now everything has fructified. And as I told you, it was a natural way for our organic growth from a PMS to a mutual fund.
Right. There are 50 players, sir, in the space?
Around 50 players, yes.
Around 50 odd players. So how would your AMC stand out? What do you plan to do so that it stands out?
It's not stand out. First is you got to understand that money management is a profession, and when it is a profession, you have to do what is good for the investors. Unfortunately, today, when you ask me this question, where would it stand out, is because outside there's a rush for gathering more assets under management. You know, only when a profession turns into a business, that's where people try to really get into the game of assets under management. Well, we don't want to be into that space. As long as we can perform for the investors, I think we are very happy with it. Stand out, there are certain processes of investment like value investing which we strongly believe in. We need to follow that up properly, and we are going to use behavioral finance strategies for our investment decision making, which we have been already doing that. And behavioral finance is all about wearing a cloak of patience, eschewing greed, and conquering fear. I think that's what we have been doing excellently, and we plan to do that in the mutual fund space.
Okay, that's very well put. And you intend to put your own money, you intend to channel your own investments through this mutual fund, right? Through this scheme that you are launching, the equity scheme.
Yes, Prashant, first is we're going to launch only one scheme, because as I told you, we are not in the marketing game, Normally what happens when there's a fancy in the market or when one sector is hot, then you have people coming out with different schemes. We are very sure that we want one only equity scheme. We believe there's only one way of investing, and that's value investing, long-term investing, and that is the space we want to be. And as far so we will have only one scheme, and that also only an equity scheme.
Only an equity scheme. So I mean, no sector funds, none of that fancy stuff. Plain old simple equity diversified scheme.
No. We don't want to confuse the investors by coming out. See, how does a sector fund come? When a sector becomes a fancy in the market, then mutual funds come out with a particular sector fund. And I always believe that value investing is all about buying something which others are not buying. And in a sector fund and all those funds, what happens is you buy a fancy, you pay a fancy price, and when the fancy ends, then you have a fancy loss. And if we are trustees of investors' money, we want to see to it that we take the right decisions and have our self-control in place.
Right. All right, so let's talk about the market and how you're thinking about the market. You've been known for somebody who has been associated with behavioral finance. So how do you, what is your reading of the market's behavior right now? And how different factors are stacked up?
Well, at present, at present what is happening, Prashant, is now we are going to have the budget which is coming in. The government is really going ahead with the reforms. So you're going to see till the budget, always before the budget comes, there are a lot of experts coming on your TV channels and tell you this, we want this, we want this. So you have some people asking for certain things, then some people trying to predict certain things that this will come, this will not come. So you are going to see a market which will be totally going up and down till the budget day. And the day the budget comes, before that, you will have everyone's hopes and expectations, would they be met or not met, will be known on 20th February. So the markets would be highly turbulent before the budgets.
Right. And what do you think of the budget itself? Do you have any strong views in terms of which way is it going to go? Would it be prudent?
No strong views on the budget.
Okay.
If the government is bent upon looking at the good of the economy, and if it takes certain hard decisions, the budget, I would call it good, although it may not be good for the markets, And if the budget is going to be a populist one, people may like it, well, it's going to be good for it's going to be bad for the economy. So what is going to be good for the economy may be bad for the people.
Economy, people, where does the market fit in there, Mr. Parekh?
No, the market, because see, the market wants always good news. And if no hard measures are taken to bring the economy on track, if we don't take hard decisions, then well, the markets may rejoice, but it's not good for the economy as a whole. That's what I mean.
Right. So basically, okay, got that. So no real strong views on the budget itself, but you think market will be basically volatile till the budget is presented. That's in about 2 months' time.
Yes.
Do you have any views on valuations, broad market valuations after the run that we've had? Nobody thought market would be up some 26-30% on the index in 2012, but it's been very strong.
No, but Prashant, you understand one thing, that we've got about 6,000 stocks listed and your markets are up. Now your Sensex is up. Now Sensex has about 30 stocks in it. Your Nifty has about 50 stocks in it, So really looking at these Sensex figures where the sample size, this thing is much more less, and you can't say the market has just had a run up, because still there are a lot of values available in the markets which may have not gone necessarily up because they don't happen to be in the index stocks. So I think we are looking at a wrong barometer, of course, but we have to have that barometer and we all look at that, but it's not the right barometer. I won't be looking at, because values are always available in the markets.
So why don't you distill that further? So what would you be looking at? What kind of things are you looking at?
I would always look when bad things happen to good companies, or temporarily certain companies are not doing well for various other external factors. I would look at that. Sorry, I will not be able to talk about any specific stocks being in the mutual fund space. So please excuse me for that, Prashant.
No, would look for situations where bad things happen to good companies. We won't talk about stocks.
Yeah.
We won't talk about stocks, but why can you define?
Because nothing is permanent, they ultimately will change.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Can you define good and bad for me? Because in a lot of ways,
if a company is doing well.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, good and bad is also is in motion. Good becomes
relative.
bad becomes good. It's nothing is very constant. So can you talk about that? Yeah.
Yes. Now suppose a company is really doing well, and all of a sudden there is some government intervention with some pricing or something of that sort, or some import restrictions or export restrictions, then temporarily that company could have a shortfall in one or two of these quarters. But ultimately nothing has happened to the company as such. And then even if it is a good company run by a good management, ultimately it's find its feet. So this is something like a bad thing happening to a good company. Secondly, then you have certain commodity cycles. Now one commodity is not doing well, or one sector is not doing well. Well, it doesn't mean that the sector or the cycle is going to be doing bad for always. Now that's a good value at that point of time. If it's, of course, everything depends upon that. When you are buying a stock, what we understand is that you are buying a business which is run by a credible management.
Right. So what I also understand is there is no strict no, because some people have said after the last few years that we don't want to touch government-facing companies or government companies for that matter, because there is too much interference. We don't know about policy, etc., etc. What you're saying is focus on structurally good businesses.
Yes,
which could have been hurt.
Yes.
Which could have been hurt, but that won't last for long.
Yes. Yes. It will be hard, because see, today values you don't get every time in the markets, they are not there. But if you have an open mind, and if you are really looking at good companies run by credible management, companies having a good moat around it, good business model, least amount of debt, good return on investment, strong brand, strong distribution network. If you are really looking at such businesses, and if you get them at good valuations, I think such opportunities would always come in the markets. Another thing is that we have a home bias, so we are always looking at stocks within India. Now today, the government allows every Indian to invest $200,000 US dollars abroad. So why not expand the horizon to the US markets, the European markets, and there are a whole lot of values available. I think for an equity investor, if he gets rid of the home bias, then the opportunities are immense all throughout the world.
Right. Not everybody though has the capacity and capability to do that. But you're saying if one has, then one should do that.
Yeah, if you have it, then why not do it? But normally in behavioral terms we call it as a home bias. We try to be with things which are familiar, and we don't like unfamiliar things. So the offshore markets are unfamiliar, that's why we try to avoid them.
No, got that. Do you focus your energies on, top-down things, macros, government policies, inflation, interest rates, that kind of thing? Are you too bothered about all of that, or it's all just pure bottom up?
Because we bother about things which we are able to understand. See, Prashant is saying, I don't know what the inflation will be. I don't know what the government policies would be. How do I focus on that, So best is you focus on what you want to buy. You want to buy a good business run by a credible management, having different characteristics which a good business should have. You focus which is in your sphere of control as well as sphere of knowledge. Things beyond that, there is no point in thinking of that.
And then that kind of cuts down, about 90% of the noise, and you're left with 10% which is useful.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Parekh, so I know you can't talk about stocks and all of that, and you said keep an open mind for good businesses. Do you want to throw hints?
Yes.
What are you focused on? What are you looking at? Any specific thematic idea which has caught your focus, which you think will do very well in the years to come? Basically sectors then.
See, we always go by a top-down approach. Well, no, we always go down by basically a bottom-up approach. So, if you ask me sectors which I like, the way we look at it, if a sector is not doing well, are there any good companies in it? We go with a bottom-up approach, and not necessarily why should the sector do well, because sometimes what happens when a sector is not doing well, a lot of people exit that sector, and only the strong companies in that survive. We really look at such companies, because when the sector again improves, these companies actually virtually have no competition.
Got that. Mr. Parekh,
it's
thanks.
more of a contrarian approach we take in making investment decisions.
Yeah. No, would distress investing be one of your styles, or no?
I beg your pardon?
I mean, distress situation investing. Distress type situations. Would that be?
Provided this thing. This thing. No, but that also depends whether the sustainability of the business is there, because sometimes the when you buy distressed assets, then it could be this thing, what you call, someone has thrown about a cigarette butt and there are 2 puffs left. We really don't get into such businesses, We look at sustainability of businesses for the next scalability for the next 5-10 years. If they are able to do good business, they have a pricing power, that's also important.
Mr. Parekh, thanks very much for your time, sir. Great to get that perspective.
Thank you very much.
And good luck, sir. Good luck for the AMC venture.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Parag Parekh talking about the new venture, and of course his thought process as far as markets go. Focus bottom up, forget macros, and just focus on companies, good companies that you'd want to buy. That's it.